All right, everybody, welcome to the Point Five Show, the bonus show slash overflow show of the Pennymon Doctrine podcast. As you can see, our guest today, I'm trying to show him, Rashanii from the Simulcast podcast, is laughing. He's extremely happy. This is a guest here.
He's an evil man.
I am ashamed. Took me this long to have him be a guest on the show.
He was a guest before.
No,
yeah.
You were a guest on his show.
Oh.
Yeah, we were a guest on his show.
Oh, he's mad.
We got kind of caught up, and I'm looking for guests, and I don't know why I didn't bring this dude up. This dude has a way with words, a way with thoughts, a way with ideas. The microphone that we use to connect to people on these Hangouts and Skypes and things like that was sent to us by this man. I'm going to give it up to the man, the myth, the legend, Rashanii from the Simulcast. What is up, my dude?
Oh, man, nothing at all. First and foremost, thank y'all so much for having me on. I really do appreciate it. I hope y'all are having a great evening.
Kinda. I had to admit that I was wrong, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, it happens. Don't worry about it. It happens to the best of us. Like
I don't like that.
Well, for example, you sometimes have to admit that you're wrong. Like, for example, Molly.
Oh, here it goes.
Hey, Molly. I bet you thought you could beat me, right? You thought you could win, right? Hold on. I want to show you this real quick. Because screen share.
Oh my God! You can do it on your computer. Oh, I'm embarrassed.
I would like to show you this right here. Now, this right here is.
I see a black screen. Oh, wow. Hold on,
these are a lot of wins, and look, I'm gonna go ahead and just click through these real quick. See here, it says 6-0, and I said 2 perfect games in one day, which means I must have done it twice. Then 6-3. I was scared for that one. And then that was Dino. I beat him 6-0 too, so don't feel bad, Molly. Everybody gets it.
He's the only person I beat today. I've only played you and him.
And then 6-1 game, blouses. I like that one. Oh, and then that was Mike. Shouts out to Evo, 6-2. And then Molly. And I put like a video game thing, right? Continue, 10, 9, 8. It's great.
Damn, he Street Fighter the shit out of you.
I know.
And then Molly got beat again, 6-1, and I decided in that one to reveal that I'm bringing Sin and Solace back because it's happening so often. Mike Peterson beat me, and I was mad about that. And then Molly, before that, I beat her, and then I put in the Sin and Solace quote, which is, "How good are you?" Good. How good is that? Well, think of how good you think I am. Okay, you got it? Yep. Well, I'm 10 times better than that. That's a direct quote from my show, Sin and Solace. And then I beat Mike again because that's what I do. And then I beat Laidback without failing like I did Molly. And I lost to him. And I beat Molly. And when I beat Molly, I started doing video game quotes. Because why not? So when Molly got beat 6-2, you must defeat Xing Long to stand a chance. Right, Molly?
And mind you, like, this isn't going past, like, 3 rounds. Like, I'll get, like, 1
That's why I don't play.
or 2, and then all of a sudden it gives me a notification that I've lost the game.
Yeah, I try and Mike Tyson people. If I don't get you in the first 2 rounds, I've done something bad.
Like, it's really bad.
Like, me and Molly one time went to, like, round, like,
20-something.
I can't see that. That's too long.
I was playing 2 you telling. Why you think I don't play that shit no more?
Exactly.
It's the only game that I could beat John in, and
I'd
now
rather,
you won't play.
I'd rather play
and now I'm
Marvel Ultimate Alliance or some shit.
I feel that.
Yeah,
Nisha, my beloved wife wanted to play me in Trivia Crack, and I was like, no. Because unlike everybody else, she can get mad at me and withhold stuff. By the way, the chemical substance that diamonds consist of is carbon. Bing! Correct. Sorry. I'm sorry, Molly. Yeah, don't look up. It's not your turn yet. Don't look down at your phone. It's not you. It's me.
Oh my God.
It's like breaking up with people. It's not you, Molly. It's always me.
Well, this all started because your co-host, right, Mike Corbin?
Mm-hmm.
he had been posting all this stuff online, like talking shit about like beating people, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna play him. So I started the game, and he didn't play me for like 6 hours, which was way too long.
Yeah.
And then Rashanii started a game with me, and I'm like, oh, this will be fun, and it's just been downhill ever since.
That's why I don't play.
Yeah, see, it's not,
she be sending me like notifications like all day, like stop. I don't want to play. I want to play Xbox.
It's not just this game that I'm like this in. It's all games. Like I'm not allowed to play Monopoly anymore because when somebody lands on Boardwalk, I talk shit, and I'm like,
you're not allowed to play Monopoly. We gotta play Monopoly then, bro.
I'll give you the voice. You'll get mad at me. I give them the Robin Leach voice. I'm like, welcome to Boardwalk. You can't afford this. I'm calling the authorities. And so when you're already down the pit and I'm laughing at you, and it's my wife, because it's always my wife. Yeah. She's a horrible sport. I love her so much.
No, Punani.
Pretty much. But that's all right. I wanted to play video games on the big TV anyway.
Exactly.
Answer to it.
Man, well, Molly sucks at Trivia Crack. Now that she knows this, maybe she will calm down. I'm getting beat.
Only to him.
But go ahead. Go ahead and tell us about you, man. What is Rashanii? Number one, I've always wondered this.
Rashanii is actually my middle name. And
word.
Let's see. Dang it was Einstein. It's ultra unique. Like there's only 2 people I know with that middle name. It's me and my son. But then there's a woman from India who's like a folk singer. And her name is Rashanii.
Okay.
There's one I missing off of her name. So people tweet me all the time saying, I love your music. And I actually write parody songs. So I'm like, thank you. And then I find out they're talking to an Indian midget folk singer woman. And
she's
I give my. Well, she's shorter than me.
Oh, wow.
No.
That is logic to happen.
I'm 6'2".
Really? That's how you determine if someone's a midget. So if they're 6'1", they're a midget.
Well, speaking of the actual midget, Miss 4'10",
4'11",
really?
Whatever, same
4'11", you're the same height as my aunt, and she married somebody who was 6'8". That was so weird.
Yeah, I've dated people that were really tall like that, and it's.
Yeah, how does it feel being dick level?
How's that fun?
It's weird.
Like you don't even need to get on your knees. You need
to
stand on your toes.
That's why I wanted to date a midget. I just wanted to teach a girl to walk backwards. When I was in high school and college, all I wanted was a midget. And it was going to be the best thing ever. I was so, what's the word for it? Not materialistic. Oh, it's right on the tip of my tongue. If it came on Trivia Crack, I'd get it right. I was so misogynistic when I was in high school and college.
Yeah.
I won't even deny it. So yeah. Hey. But then my wife is like 5'6", so she's still short. I mean, not as short as you. So how are y'all doing?
We're doing okay.
Not good.
I had to admit that I was wrong.
Not good at all.
And I didn't really like that very much. Today's Thursday for people that are going to be listening to this on Saturday. And this is right after I had the conversation with Leslie.
Oh, yeah.
About Patricia Arquette.
Yeah.
And I was making points until I read it one last time. And I realized that I was wrong.
Which is a noteworthy moment.
Yeah.
Because this guy.
Because I always try to be on the right side of things.
Ever wrong.
I always try to stay on the right. I always try to stay on the right side of things.
Right that thing.
Shut up. And you know, I just, to me, especially when it comes to women and stuff like that, like. I wish that white feminists would understand that they need to shut the fuck up sometimes. But at the same time, I wish that they could, like, all the different types of feminists could just join together and, like, pussy power this motherfucking country and then get shit the way it needs to be. And that's the way I see things, you know what I mean? So when I see a woman who tried her hardest to, like, make a point, but then kind of let the Freudian slip out, I had you, boo, until I read the last word of the sentence, and then I was wrong.
Well, you know what's funny, and this is like seriously, I find it to be hilarious. Leslie was on my show, Single Simulcast, your favorite podcast. You know what's up. You know what it is. You know what it ain't. Yesterday, last night, actually.
Yeah.
And on my show, she openly plotted on finding you on your show and telling you a thing or two.
Well,
and she was practicing.
And then I invited her on.
Yeah.
So,
like she knew she was going to find you. And she was like, I'm so pumped up. And I was like, okay, this is going to be funny. But she won.
And the thing about it is like, every point that she made, I already understood and I felt her on. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you just didn't understand where the thought was coming from.
Right.
What was provoking that argument in her speech?
Like, do I know about the 20s? Yeah. Do I know about intersection? Yeah. Do I know about all this other shit that goes into these types of conversations? Yes. And I'm 1,000% on the women of color side and all those points that they make. The thing that got me was, Patricia, boo-boo, how you going to say all women, so you made a point, incorporated all women, which includes women of color, and then you're going to say all the men that loves women, which even includes men that hate women because they got moms that they love, or someone they putting their dick in or something, right?
Oh yeah.
Or
and
sisters.
then So and then you got gay people, which actually includes women, right? So there's even more women.
True.
And then people of color, which includes women. So I'm like, what you talking about? What you talking about? And then she says, hold on, I got the quote up here.
Hold on, the frenulum is in the penis.
Oh my God. Okay. That we all fought to fight for us now. Wait, pause. You already said all women. You already said all men that love women. And you said all gay people, which includes women. And you said all people of color that includes women. Who's us then? Yeah. Oh, you talking about white women. I lose. Check and mate.
I'm a fan of, what's the easiest way to put this without insulting everybody? I'm a fan of all-inclusive, but yet you are secluding a group. Like, you're saying everybody come together and help us out. So everybody,
right?
But I don't know. I don't know. When it comes to something this, honestly, this is what I like to call. To me, she had the best intentions.
She did.
She did. And that's the funny thing to me. Like, I understand why everybody's mad about it. I won't stop understanding why everybody's mad about it. I understand that completely. But damn it, the road to hell is paved with intentions, just like Patricia Arquette's.
And that's where I'm coming from. You know what I'm saying? Like, because the thing about it is, I'm not trying to like make her out to be just an actress, but she's an actress who won an Oscar at the whitest Oscars ever with a dude who's making slave jokes and who's gay himself, so he's already marginalized. With Common and John Legend, who, and I was trying to make the snarky ass point that, he didn't talk about Ebola, so, he's leaving people out. And that's because I didn't put the for us thing in there because I wasn't focusing on that because nobody was. That's what I wasn't focusing on. I was focused on the fact that she included all women, and now all of a sudden y'all saying she ain't include women. I don't know what you're talking about, but it's for the us part. The us part is what got me. And and again, I'm still under the guise of white supremacy knows how to fight wars, man.
No.
And the only thing and the thing in war is sometimes you got to have numbers. If it wasn't for the atomic bomb, Japan wouldn't have stopped. And they wouldn't have won. They wouldn't have won, but they wouldn't have stopped. It got to the point where them white motherfuckers were so scared, they dropped 2 nuclear bombs on your ass that is still affecting Japan to this day. they will fight dirty by any means. So, oh my gosh, is that? Hold on, I'm gonna stop. You gotta say here. I'll just put the screen up there. Hold on. You lost again. And Molly's so stubborn. She will continue to.
She's already told me so
win.
after the 5th defeat.
It's horrible.
So you didn't see my face like 2 minutes ago when I realized that you won?
No.
Yeah, I did, but I was still typing out the quote.
Oh my God, this is so unfair.
And embarrassing because you're live.
Which, by the way, the quote is, "Do not wish the game was easier. Wish that you were better."
Ooh.
And that comes from Animal Crossing.
This is terrible.
Oh.
I want to hit something.
So, Rashanii, man, tell me about your show, man. How you thought of it, where it started, why you do what you do. What is
Single Simulcast started because I got tired of people telling me to shut up.
I like
Let's
that.
just be completely honest. Whenever I was on other people's podcasts, at some point they were able to tell me to shut up because it was their show and they had the power. And I could either shut up or I could flash and get kicked off their show, which I did once. But for the most part, huh?
Whose show?
That was it. They're no longer around. It was this show called
Killing shit now.
The Gamer's Garage, and they're no longer around.
Why? Because they suck?
They were, no, actually a group of really nice people for the most part, but one day I wrote a podcaster's manifesto, and they told me that I was wrong for saying that listeners should leave feedback, at which point I realized that they were just hopping into a conversation they knew nothing about because they never got feedback in their life, but I sound salty now. And it all fell apart after that, basically.
So you destroyed their show?
Yes. I've been podcasting for...
Simulcastedly.
Yes. I just seem like a nice person. Like, don't let the smile fool you and the pithy little quotes and all of that. I'm actually, when I get mad, I'm pretty brutal.
Yeah.
But I've been podcasting for 7 years. I actually started doing other shows, and then I started doing single simulcasts. And that's making a really long story into a really compacted story. And then I started writing because I got depressed. So I started writing Sin and Solace, which is my dramatic serial. It's a story about an assassin and his best friend. And they work for a group called The Corporation, and they are on a mission. And then I hooked up with Scarfinger, who you know is Michael Corbin, and Adjective J, and we started doing the Dream Team together, and that's now on episode like 66. And then I started doing 20 minutes because I wanted one show where it was serious, but I knew I couldn't be serious for more than 20 minutes. So I have people come on the show, and I let them talk about whatever they want to for 20 minutes. And that's when a few weeks back, when really, Molly, never say never, I guess.
She won't stop, bro.
I'm going to have to throw a match, and I'm not
going
to
to
do
notifications, and I deleted the shit from my phone.
I'm not gonna throw this match. But
So throw the match.
I'm not gonna do it just to appease her. Because I'm stubborn. And I don't give a fuck. So just take it like a man. But
I'm gonna keep playing.
like a few weeks back, John, if you remember, I had put an open invite on Facebook for anybody who thought that Marshawn Lynch and Richard Sherman were a thug. That was a show that I wanted them to be on. I wanted them to be on 20 minutes, give them 20 minutes to really explain themselves and why they were saying that. I don't judge people on 20 minutes. I don't argue with them. I just really want to know where you're coming from. And the thing about 20 minutes is it's a really good show when people buy in. But people don't want to get on the show and tell their issues. I've had somebody come on the show and talk about bipolar disorder. I've had somebody come on the show and talk about depression. I've had somebody come on the show and talk about breast cancer. I've had someone come on the show and talk about being fat. I've had somebody come on the show and talk about when they were fat and then they got gastric bypass surgery and now they're skinny and people treat them differently. They don't know how to deal with it. Really interesting stuff. I talked with a prostitute. I talked with a burlesque dancer. But I couldn't line up enough people to actually actively want to be a part of the show. So it kind of hit the sideline. So then I
that was
funny.
That was judicial right there. I like that.
So I actually had stopped for a while doing 20 minutes, and I'm hoping to start it back up again pretty soon. I got a couple of ideas. I'm supposed to have like Mr. Span from the Span Report on the show to talk about Freemasons, because apparently there's a whole lot of misconceptions about what Freemasons are.
Yes.
And then I'm supposed to have William Jackson from the Father Teresa Wine Cellar on the show to talk about atheism. Because again, there's a lot of misconceptions about it. And
yes,
I don't judge anybody. I'm a Christian. William J. Jackson's an atheist. He's actually one of the Crip, and I represent the Suwu. So, look, once you get to a certain age in your life, it's no longer, I don't think that these divides really count.
Christian blood. That doesn't even make...
I know, right? I know, right? It's like being a vegetarian who owns a chicken factory.
That's like in Southeast San Diego, which is the highest only concentration of black people that I know of. They got green bloods.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, I was confused by that so much. So
yeah.
So y'all so fucked up around here. I can't wear no clothes. I can't wear red. I can't wear blue. I can't wear purple, which is a regal color, which I fucking like. I can't wear green because that's gang.
Can you wear
and I can't wear yellow.
Can you wear them all at the same damn time?
Nope.
Somewhat. I mean, that would look weird though. Red, yellow, purple, green.
And honestly, that's why I won't go to Los Angeles. I won't.
Yeah.
I might go now that I'm older, because if you wear a business suit, they know that you're not banging.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Red, blue, whatever. All business suits tend to be black. So unless I'm rocking a Suge Knight all red button down, I don't think I'm going to get too much trouble. Which, by the way, spoiler alert, the zoot suit is in the closet. All
you
red.
have a zoot suit?
Hell yeah. Everybody should have a zoot suit.
I like that shit, though. I used to like zoot suits.
Everybody should have a
zoot suit is the suits that the long suits them dudes used to wear back in like the 20s and 30s.
Have you ever seen Malcolm X with Denzel Washington?
Yes.
At the beginning of Malcolm X, him and Red and whatever Spike Lee's name was in the movie come out with their hair conked, wearing zoot suits, and they're walking like this. They're just leaning forward and walking.
Yeah.
Those are zoot suits. They were a staple of the 20s, 30s, and 40s. And they're bad. They are some beautiful things.
I always think of that song, the Zoot Suit Riot song.
Yeah.
Yeah, the group that, me too. It was just, it wasn't amenable in my neighborhood to actually confess that I liked that at the time when that song was out. You can't just walk up and down the hood singing out Zoot Suit Riot. Riot!
Yeah, I had to hold back my like of NSYNC for the longest time.
Oh my God, he loves NSYNC too.
Hey, you ready? You ready?
He does.
I keep sitting here, waiting by the phone.
I'm not doing this.
Do it.
I don't like that song.
I drove myself insane, wishing I could touch your face, but the truth remains.
Oh wait, I do like that song.
You're gone.
Go.
Oh, that's the song.
Yeah, I wasn't getting it first.
Baby girl, yeah. That album, Pop, was great because that's when Justin Timberlake realized that he really didn't give a fuck about the rest of the group.
Right, because them dudes was holding him back.
Exactly.
Holding him back. Even JC, nigga, man, let my nigga Justin do his thing. Like, that was my motherfucker right there. He had the baddest bitch. He had the best voice. He has the best dancer. Justin Timberlake, JT, forever.
And Justin Timberlake, if I remember correctly, and I probably don't because I liked NSYNC, but I didn't follow their trajectory. But I'm pretty certain that while Pop was in the stores, like it was still hot, he went across the street to the black side of town and put out his debut album and murked people with Michael Jackson styles, and then came back to NSYNC like, hey, guys.
Hey, what's up?
He sure did.
Hey, while they were playing us on 92.5, which is the white station, they play me on 107.9 right now, which is the black station.
Hey, you guys, I've got a concert with R. Kelly coming up. Can we cancel the one with 98 degrees?
Right. I don't want to go on tour with you guys because I'm actually making money.
I think we should break up. Did I say we should break up? Yeah. Hold on. I'm gonna lay down this track real quick. I quit.
I quit. Hey, I just want to let you know, it's totally you and not me. Bye.
And then they played Crimea River.
Really, they did.
So what's one of the big hot topics that got your brain going right now, Brad?
You know what? Honestly, the fact that while everybody else is just out there living their life, there's a undertow of people, and I call them an undertow because they're literally being pulled under by depression. Larry Sanders from the Milwaukee Bucks, just like day before yesterday, maybe yesterday, bought out his contract with the Bucks. He's no longer with him, and he went on to whatever the news article station, and talked about why he left the team, and he admitted that he has depression. And people made fun of him. And
who?
Random internet trolls.
Oh, just like
I just call them rats. Rits. Yeah. Random internet trolls. You know, they were just making fun of him. Oh yeah, you just couldn't take it. Oh yeah, for $25 million I'd play forever. And I'm sitting there like, dude, really think about it. You have to be depressed to walk away from $25 million. I am convinced that Dave Chappelle was depressed. I'm convinced. Like, not only was
he basically said so what I was saying. So if you hear him talking, recently.
Mm-hmm. And it takes you a while to really understand what you're going through at that time, but it doesn't take much to get you to that point. And I've been talking with a lot of folks, good people, Clove and Shirley from Chonilla.com, Leslie McFadden from the Interracial John and the Ferguson Response Network about depression. And I really just want to make it known, I have depression, yes, while I'm smiling and whooping asses and laughing and doing podcasts and
hold on, not just whooping asses, whooping Molly's ass.
Yeah, it's important, Molly. I'm telling you, when children come about, speak of me in hushed tones. Speak of one take. Speak of the guy.
The one that cannot be named.
I tried to spin it with the that's what she said joke, and he fucking killed me with that too.
I'm just prepared. I'm saying. But beneath this smile and everything lies a man who, at least 3 months out of the year, just goes into a hole and does not want to come out. Who loses faith in everything except for his wife and his kids, who does not believe in himself enough to put out podcasts. And that's why you'll see that podcasts in certain periods of the year, if you actually listen to Single Simulcast, first of all, thank you very much. Secondly, you'll notice that in certain parts of the year, I'll put out like 3-4 podcasts in a week. And then in other parts of the year, it takes me 3 or 4 weeks to put out one episode. And that's because depression is so real. It permeates every part of your body and your spirit. And the best way for me to talk about depression, I actually used to write raps about depression. I used to write poetry to depression, trying to understand depression. And the best way that I could put depression is that thing that walks up to you out of nowhere, and it's just like, yo, what's up, Rashanii? Tonight I'm coming home with you. And you don't invite him. He just shows up out the blue. Depression is like...
Damn, depression is a cat caller?
Depression is Debo, dog. It just shows up, and it's like, yo, You don't need to eat, hang out with me. You know, let me tell you about what's going on with your life, how I see it, and it'll make you believe that what it sees is actually the truth. Depression will have you sitting there watching your 7-year-old sleep, wondering if you're worthy to be their father, and will have a 7-year-old coming up to you saying that they're sad and they don't know why, you know, which is heartbreaking. And the thing about depression is it is so widespread in the African American community, but nobody wants to discuss it. It's like back in the day when you used to have that uncle who was a little bit off, and all your grandma did was put them upstairs in that room far away from everybody else and never talked about it. That's depression. Depression lives upstairs right now, and it's waiting to come back downstairs and just get some cereal and look at me and say, "Sup, nigga," and go right back upstairs. Right now, I'm free of depression. I am happy without depression, but I know it'll be back. And that's the scary part. I know it'll be back. So what I did, I'm not even going to say what I did. What happened was on Twitter, one day I just spilled my guts talking about how I tried to commit suicide, how I tried to tell people about my issues. And they were like, have you tried going to church? Have you tried exercise? Maybe you're just having a down day. Everybody goes through it. You're not special. You're a bitch. Oh, that was a great one. That was actually a podcaster. And not only did that podcaster call me a bitch, but then went on to his show and called me a bitch on his show because I called him in tears one day. Dog, I'm trying to tell you, first of all, there's this thing called the Black Podcasters United, and I'm constantly talking about the relationships that need to be forged in order for us all to push forward as podcasters. We need to learn from each other. We need to work with one another so that we can all take steps forward together. That's always been my mindset.
That's my mindset too.
I had a telephone number to a podcaster, and me and him for a while dang near talked every day, if not every day, every other day. Really nice guy. I'm not going to say anything bad about him. Really nice guy. Was able to call me up when he needed to talk about podcasts. He told me about people he had issues with. He told me about shows he was having issues with. He told me about things he couldn't get past in his own family relationships. And we talked about ostriches one day. Like, we had a good relationship. And then one day in the winter, which is always when depression hits, I think it was in late November, I realized that I was starting to look for the sun, and I couldn't find it. And depression is in some ways predicated by the weather. If the sun doesn't come out all the time, our bodies need to recharge with UV rays and light. We need that to brighten our spirits. It's not a joke.
So we like Superman light.
We are. We're actually some solar powered niggas. Real talk. And when we lose that charge, that's when depression is able to get in there.
Right.
And depression started coming in, and I felt myself sinking, and I was falling into a hole. And I dealt with it quietly for like a while because I didn't want to talk to my wife about it. I didn't want to bother her. I didn't feel like she would care. That's what depression does. I thought my wife wouldn't care about my issues. Like, she'd just be like, well, nigga, walk it off. You know, hey, you're depressed. You want some of this? Good. Is that going to get you out of it? No, then walk it off. And yes, depression will have you in a place where sometimes you don't even want to have sex, dude. You're just like, I just want to lay down. I just want to be alone for a second. I don't want to play video games. I don't want to do nothing. So I'm in this hole. Can't talk to my wife. Can't talk to my brother. Can't talk to my mom. Don't want to talk to my kids about it. My kids are looking at me like, Daddy, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. And going to work and just sitting there in the daze, like in the doldrums. And I'm calling two people who I knew would not fail me. One, again, was Scarfinger, Michael Corbin, because me and him, that's my ace boon. You know, I knew I could hit him up. He lives out on the East Coast. I'm on the West Coast. I'm still hitting him up. And he's answering. I'm telling him about what's going on, but I'm not coming out of this hole. The other one was this other podcaster. And he's not answering his phone. All of a sudden, he's not answering his phone. He's not answering text messages. He's not answering anything. and I'm steadily sinking. I'm in a hole, 20 feet deep, looking up, wondering if I'm ever going to get back out. And all I need is to talk to one person who will tell me it's all okay. And so finally I called him and I was like, look, dude, I realize that you're going through whatever you're going through. I said, but when you needed me, I was able to answer. When I need you, you're not there. I think that that's a sign of weak character. Oh, he called me back after that. He called me back after that and cussed me out for talking about his character. And then went on his show and continued to cuss me out. 3 days later, I had a mental breakdown. I was at work. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, I just burst into tears. I stood up. I walked out of my job. I didn't tell them where I was going. I basically went AWOL for about an hour. They didn't know where I was. They didn't know what I was doing. I got up. I walked out. I burst into tears. I finally called my mom. She answers, and I am so sorry for what I did to her, because I called my mom, and the only thing I could say to her over and over again was, I want my dad. Who I hadn't talked to in like a long, long time. I want my dad. Mom, I don't know. Because she's asking me, what's wrong with you, baby? What's going on? Where are you at? And I'm sitting there saying, I don't know, over and over again, and I want my dad. And I'm crying. And I am 33 years old when I have this mental breakdown. You never know where you're going to be, how old you're going to be, what you're going to be going through when depression finds you. But if you are susceptible to it, it will find you. 39% of the African American community, adults, have some form of depression, bipolar disorder, schizophrenia. It is there. We do not talk about it. We do not look at it. We try and power through everything. But you know what happens when your power runs out? You break down. And I broke down. I talked to my dad. He called me up for the first time in like 3 years and talked to me. And I was so embarrassed after I realized what I had done. I haven't talked to him since. Like, I can't. I can't. This man who's my dad saw me at my lowest point ever. Dude, the only thing that would be worse than this is if I was like, I shit myself. I was literally like nowhere.
But don't you think that's a good place for? I mean, I don't know y'all's relationship, so I'm just trying to add to the conversation. But wouldn't that be a place where he could help build you back up, especially considering that your mind was telling you to reach out to him?
I thought so. I really did. But once depression goes away, it is replaced by arrogance. I don't know if
so it's like alcohol then.
Yeah.
It's like a bad night of drinking, and the next day you're like, hope I don't run into them again.
Yeah, remember that show or that movie, Can't Hardly Wait?
Can't hardly wait.
Old school teen comedy
with Freddie Prinze Jr.
With Freddie, not Freddie Prinze Jr., but with
the blonde haired guy,
Jennifer Love Hewitt, and the blonde guy, and the dude from
that's
the dude from Austin Powers who was always acting like he was black or whatever.
Yes, the dude that's the voice of Chris on Family Guy.
Yeah.
Green, yeah.
That movie. There's a part in that movie where the geek and the jock get drunk together, and they end up actually becoming friends, which is great because they were actually the bully was tormenting the nerd. The next day, the nerd comes in to talk to the bully, and he's like, "Thank you so much for what you did, blah, blah, blah." And the bully pushes him away. Now that he's sober, he's right back to being a jerk again.
Right.
I don't know which side of us lowered our defenses first. I think it was me, and then my dad called because I was in a place of need. However, my dad and I are just alike. I've told people that I am the son of Darth Vader. And
so you're a Sith Lord?
Pretty much. I'm a bad motherfucker.
Gotcha.
And I know who put their defenses back up first. So while I showed vulnerability he also showed vulnerability. He's a military man. So for him to call me and tell me that it was going to be okay and talk to me and all that, that showed a side of him that he didn't feel comfortable with. So the defense went right back up. But when I tried to call him, with my son on the line because my son has never seen him since he was a baby. And my dad was curt with him. And that was pretty much the end of it. Was like, okay, what happened a couple of months back never happened. We're right back to this again. And I haven't spoken to him since.
Wow.
I don't know about you. I know I've suffered with this since I was young.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like I've had really, really close friends that, you know, because it's depression. I mean, at least for me, like it can be periods that I'm almost like manic.
Mm-hmm.
And when I'm feeling really good, I'm feeling like really great, like almost like I've conquered it. It's not coming back. You know, I don't, like I exercise through it. I party through it. You know, I fill myself with really great friends through it. And then all of a sudden, like, it pops up.
Mm-hmm.
And I have friends that call me, like, the disappearing, you know, friend. Like, all of a sudden, like, I just don't talk to anyone for, like, a month. I mean, I had periods before I found a nursing job where I didn't get out of bed for a month. Like, my son to this day, you know, he'll say to me, like, when he sees me walking towards the bed, he'll be like, "Are you going to sleep?" Because he knows if I lay down, I might not get up for the rest of the day.
Mm-hmm.
But like, he knows how to deal with it, which is the sad part. But I've had so many rounds of friends in my life because they meet me on my up and up. And then when I go down, like, they just see me as like a really horrible friend and they don't get it. And I try and explain to people, like, I'll give people the warm up. I'm like, you know, sometimes it's kind of like you turn off a light switch and no matter what you do, you cannot turn that light back on.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, one day, the light goes on. And I'm back. And people just, you know, they confuse it with being an unreliable friend or, you know, I bailed on them. You know, it always
Notice how any of those responses have nothing to do with you.
Oh, I understand that. But at the same time, I've learned to turn a lot of my friend group into a revolving door. Because I can talk about it, but if people don't understand and they haven't experienced depression themselves truly, they think that it's the weirdest thing ever.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
We were on Ricky's show recently, the AUA podcast, and I had not known. Is it new that you're a reoccurring guest?
I'm not a reoccurring. Well, yeah, I guess I am. Yeah, it's new. 3 times now, I think.
Yeah,
I think
know,
I've been
I
on
know
there.
you've been on the other ones, but like you got
No, as the angry black guy.
The angry
Yeah.
Yeah, I think 3 times now.
Okay, so you know we were on Ricky's show, and you know we heard that, and it was so articulate, and it drew the point, and you couldn't escape it. You know, you framed it in a way like, what the fuck is this nigga talking about? Oh, it was like one of those type of things. You know what I mean? And you know, I at that point, you know, it really opened my eyes because we had to record that episode twice. But the first time I heard it, I was like, man, what the fuck? How have I not had this dude on my show, man? Because like, you make things that people, and you make things, thoughts, and ideas that people take for granted, and you put it in their face, and then you put it in such a way where it's like, damn, I never thought about that, but it's something that you think about or deal with every single day. You know what I mean? That's what's so cool about your show, because you got just an interesting way of going about things.
And when it
comes to this depression type stuff, man, you know, I never, you know, I try to respect people as much as possible, and you know, I know and have known people to be depressed, and I think I may go through it myself at times, even though it's kind of like a self-inflicted depression. It's still depression nonetheless.
Mm-hmm.
And it made me think that because I feel or I felt that the way to get out of it during that time period is just to tell myself to man up, man up, man up. You're gonna get through it. You're gonna get through it. And it's not that easy. And hearing what you had to say on Ricky's show, hearing what you're talking about now, kind of makes things make sense. I guess to be vulnerable real quick, and I'll let you hit on your point.
Oh yeah.
There's times when I'll just start crying, and I know what it's about, and I usually force it upon myself. And I miss my boys, man. I miss my kids, and I feel like that when I get to like that low spot, I feel like everything that I'm doing and everything that I've done and everything that I'm planning on doing is not going to work. Is they're going to hate me? Why did I leave California? I was such a fool. I'm a horrible father. I'm all this, and it just overwhelms me to the point where I can't move. I can't think. I can't breathe. I start crying. I got it. You know what I mean? And again, hearing what you had to say on that show, made me realize that this is not a abnormal thing. It's not something that I should take lightly, but it's also not something that I should feel bad about and find help and seek help in others if I can't get it done professionally. So I applaud you on that.
There's first of all, there's absolutely no shame in tears, and I think that one of the greatest disservices that not just black men but men in general and to an extent women have put upon themselves is saying that girls don't cry, men don't cry, push through it, power through, nobody's got time for that. And it's actually a great hindrance to the healing process. Because the way that I look at it is, and maybe it's because I have no tear ducts and so my eyes water, tears, crying, is the way to really just clear the cachet that your body's been holding in.
Yeah.
The only way that you're really going to reboot your system and start clean and start fresh is tears. And I know when certain things have gone on too long. I know when I've gone without sex for too long. I know when I've gone on without seeing my friends for too long. I know when I've gone on without playing basketball too long. All of these things. And I know when I've gone without crying for too long, because all of a sudden I will see, it's always weird. It's always something that should not make me want to cry. Say, for example, Sunset Park. At the end of Sunset Park, the team is in the championship, and the hero team, the player that I identify with the most, he missed a shot at the end of the game. I cry.
Every time I see someone with their kids, a father with their kids on TV, movie, something, every time. Gets me every time. And I can't see LeBron James do anything with his kids without physically shedding tear or about to. Can't do it. Impossible.
I feel that. And I think that you need to embrace that trigger, because there are points in your life where you really just need to let go.
Yeah.
You really need to identify with yourself. I am comfortable enough with myself to know that I have to get this out of me. And the best way for me to get it out of me is I'm going to go watch a LeBron James video with him playing with his kids. Me personally, I have a song on my Spotify called 911. And it's by Kirk Franklin, and it is him singing to or talking with T.D. Jakes about how his whole world's falling apart. And it just, every single time I hear it,
Yeah.
It just cleans you. And everybody has these things that they can use in order to clean themselves or be clean because sometimes your friends don't want to take the time out. Molly, I understand completely because I'm that same way. When I'm up, I can light up a room.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm up, I am the life of the party. I will make everybody love me. But you know what? At the same time, my in-laws don't understand me because there's not only do I suffer from depression, I'm an introvert. So not only do I sometimes get over there and I'm in my own head and I don't want to have a good time, but sometimes I'll be in the middle of having a great time and I just all of a sudden I don't want to be around anybody.
Right. That's what I say. Someone just turns off the light switch, and it's over.
Speaking of not wanting to be around anybody, bye YouTubers. We're going to let you go, and we are going to continue this conversation on the audio side. So until Saturday, until you can see this whole show, peace, YouTubers. Wait, camera placement. Wait,
We're on opposite sides.
God
so.
damn, yeah, it's throwing me off. Bye, YouTube.